Alright, I had a lot of interest in this heater here and what I thought of it. We like it. We've had it for 7-8 years now. It's a MCS is the brand. Runs on diesel fuel. It probably holds about 12 gallons or so there. Burns about a gallon an hour. If you're on the high range, it's got two settings. Low and high, obviously. We always run it on the high because if you run it on low after about a half hour, 45 minutes, you can just start to, your eyes will just start to water a little bit and you can smell it. If you're always running that's on the low range, you run it on the high, it runs great, you run all day and you don't even, it burns clean enough, you don't smell it or anything. I think it's 125,000 BTU. We also got this kerosene salamander heater over here. It's your torpedo heater. That's 155,000 BTU. What we do of a morning is general, because it'd take a while for this thing to heat it up. That salamander style will heat the room up a lot faster, but this one maintains it a lot better, and it's a lot more pleasant to work around. Because this one's not near as loud as the salamander. But we'll run both of them in the morning for about a half hour, 45 minutes till things get hot in here, and then we'll shut the salamander off and just let this run the rest of the day. And then sometimes about 3 o'clock in the afternoon we'll have to shut it off just because it does get too hot in here. But this is a 40 by 40 shop, and the insulation's not the greatest in it. And unless it's really windy, this heater will, keep up all day, even if it's down to 20 degrees or so. We thought about, when we got this, putting like a radiant tube in or something, but figured that probably would take it, longer to heat up, and we'd probably almost just have to maintain temperature with that. This, you can move it right to where you're working, and if I'm working under this tractor, I can just park it right there. If I want to work on something over there, I can just move it over there and work in front of it. Yeah, it's got a little fuel gauge here on it. And the only trouble we've ever had with it, and I think it's partly our fault, there's a big ceramic cone in there that kind of, directs the heat this way instead of letting all the heat come back this way towards the tank and the controls and stuff. And when we filled it up diesel tanks across the driveway over there, we used to just take it over there every evening and roll it across the driveway and fill it up. But those tires are hard, and the gravel and everything, it just bounced real bad and shook the thing. And I think it finally shook that ceramic cone to pieces in there is what we think happened. So we put a new cone in it. And ever since that happened, we just leave it here in the shop, and we just use those diesel containers there and just bring fuel over to it, and it hadn't had any trouble since. So I think that, other than that, that's only, and the guy who we bought it from, we'd called him back to order the cone for it, and he said it was the only one he'd ever heard that happening on, so pretty sure that's what caused it. But it's pretty nice. It not too loud when it started up here. And, it puts off a pretty good amount of heat. It's hot right there. You wouldn't want to hold your hand there too long. And it'll heat. It's great, if you paint a little something, like a piece on the tractor or something, or you need to dry something off, you put it there. It'll heat it up. Does a good job for little stuff like that. It's just handy to have. It's not quite as forgiving as the salamander heater. You just got to pay attention to what you're doing. You can't just unplug the thing if you happen to trip over the cord, because I think when you shut it off, the fan runs for a minute, and it just kind of help cool things off. So it is a little more, you just got to be a little more aware of it than that salamander heater. Other than put kerosene, that salamander heater, to that thing in 20, 25 years. But I guess that doesn't change the sound of it any. It just changes. I think it's got 2 injection nozzles in there, and it only fires one of them if you're on the low range. But and then see his fan will run for a little bit here, and that thing will just get orange, when it's running. So yeah, that's about it. Let me know if you got any more questions. It's like I say, it's been a good one. We'd probably buy another one if something ever happened to this one. So thanks for watching.